Today, I'm going to be addressing the many major problems in today's fan films. I'm trying to get more active in the fan film community, so I'm going to be reacting and breaking down their films, trailers, posters, etc. whatever. I'm also going to be going back to reviewing films on this channel, as well as breaking them down also. We're also launching our first Discord server, so you can come in, hang out, give out ideas, be the first to witness any updates that come out on this channel, and yeah, let's get right into this video. So fan films have been coming out since ages, like eons, and every last one of them has its major problems. Whether it's from the bad directing, to horrible writing, to not so good cinematography, each fan film has their problems. Now I'm not gonna go in this video and nitpick every fan film that I personally know and point out their flaws. But as a whole fan film community, I'm just going to point out some of the major ones I've seen. So my first major issue is obviously bad directing. Some fan films now are just wild. They have wild ideas that really just doesn't make sense within their range and what the story they're telling. Like, yeah, a fan film, you can create your own stories and whatnot, and that's what they are. It's basically how you would interpretate these big Hollywood budget films or these comic book runs. But man, I just cringe while watching these crazy ideas that just don't make sense. And some of them, and if not most of them, they're just really bad. I don't see these directors at all taking anything from source material or from films in general. Like, I don't have a problem with trying to rehash a plot, but at the same time try to throw in some of your own creativity, but just don't make it so wild to where the audience just does not like it. And some of these backyard fan films just suffer from this problem. My second major problem with fan films these days is writing. Like the plots, again, this ties into the creativity and wild direction. The plots just, now these days they're not simple, and they try to go too fantastical with them, if I would say. Yet on the other side of the scale, the plots are just lackluster and boring. There's no even medium in between these at all. And the dialogue is just, oh my gosh, it's just cringeworthy. Like, yes, I know most fan films these days are made by middle schoolers and early high schoolers. They either don't know how to write correctly, or they just don't know how to write what the character would say. And literally, most plots are rehashed from other movies, which, yeah, some people may say my film, Spider-Man Beyond Negative, is a basically rehash of Spider-Man 3, but really I just did it for fan service. At this time, I was really obsessed with Spider-Man 3. I still am. It's still my favorite Spider-Man movie to date. So there really are the Spider-Man 3 Spider-Manisms, I would say, from Spider-Man 3 in there. But I feel like it doesn't take away from the originality and the plot. Like, yeah, it may follow a similar pattern as Spider-Man 3, but the originality is there, and it's just not a straight up copy, which most of these fan films now are. Now on to number 3, I'ma just say cinematography. Especially in backyard fan films, oh my gosh. And I'm not trying to nitpick this, but some people just don't know how to pick up a camera and use it. Now, when I mean camera, I don't mean like an actual camera. Most of these fan films are filmed on phones, but they just don't know how to use it properly. They have bland, boring shots. They have shots that really don't make sense and fit in with the continuity, and there's just no creativity in them. They're not showing any spirit in the shots. They're not showing any soul. They're just bland and dull overall. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of these backyard fan films, and I'm not just going to even nitpick on the backyard fan films, a lot of fan films have amazing cinematography when it is used properly. Now onto my next issue, and probably my biggest issue on the list, which I probably should have put it first, but I just had to say something about the directing, but it is the VFX. Now, most fan films, if not every fan film now, literally has to have one single, if not one or more VFX shots in the film. Now, in terms of VFX, I don't mean just like you're overlaying electricity for like electro or a shocker or something. If it's powers, yeah, that's cool. That serves the purpose of the plot and of the character. But what I mean by VFX, I really mean CGI. character models, 3D models. Not every fan film needs to be having a 3D character model unless it's for something specific or serves the plot. And they suffer because it overshadows the plot. They focus on more the visuals, which, yeah, the visuals and the plot, the story, they go hand in hand, but you can't have a lackluster plot with amazing visuals and think that your audience is going to like your film. At the same time, it is draining VFX workers. For example, Cypher Films. A lot of these fan film studios have been taking advantage of him. And basically, I know, it's a fan film, doesn't get paid, whatnot, blah, blah, blah. But I just feel like fan films now, they suffer because, one, they're overusing the workers. Two, they're overusing VFX way too much. And three, they're not even giving the VFX artists the time that they need to even freaking make one shot. Now, I don't have a problem with using CGI VFX when it's used properly. If there's context behind it, for example, like a final swing for a Spider-Man fan film, then yes, CGI VFX, that's being properly used. But if it's for a specific character, honestly, just find a real-life actor and trying to CGI double him in. Now, using green screen is a whole nother situation. That I don't have a problem with your film just having a lot of green screen shots in it. My film had a lot of green screen shots, and I don't see the big deal. But moving forward, I feel like, for me personally, I shouldn't use as much as I did, and fan films in general should just not rely on it as much either. Next, we have editing, and this right here is where I get a lot of fan film creators. Whether it be choppy editing, overly loud audio, or just not knowing how to edit in the simple VFX assets, the editing in some of these fan films are just not good at all. It's really not good. Like, again, I said most of them are made by middle schoolers and early high schoolers, or just high schoolers in general. And I know they can do way better with the editing, but instead of trying to rush the product, they need to focus on bringing in the quality and using their skills, because I know they have the potential to make the editing better than how it is now. Like older fan films, I really didn't see that much problems with the editing. Yes, there was out of the bunch, there were a few that were obviously pretty horribly edited, but it just doesn't compare in today's fan films. So wrapping my thoughts up, I just feel like the fan film community needs to get back to its roots. I feel like we just need to take more time and develop our skills further and just improve. I feel like that's all we can do. I feel like we just need to improve and bring quality into our films. That's literally my rant. That's all I have to say. But other than that, we have 3 fan films coming out this year. If you haven't already seen the teaser trailer for our fan film Daredevil, the First Defender, please go check it out now. It is already up on YouTube. And besides that, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.